If you need a car with more than 7 seats, your choices are pretty limited. And if you don't want a converted commercial van, there's even less to choose from. And that's why Kia's Carnival has been the best show in town for the last few years. The third generation Carnival was released in 2015, and it's easily the best-selling people mover in Australia, comfortably ahead of the Honda Odyssey and the Volkswagen Multivan. It's available in 4 grades and with one of 2 engines, a 3.3 litre V6 petrol or a 2.2 litre turbo diesel. All models are front-wheel drive, and the range kicks off from 42,490 for the petrol-powered S. And it reaches more than $62,000 for the diesel-powered Platinum. Prices have gone up across the range between $1,500 and $2,500. While this midlife update is light on the visuals, there are a couple of key additions to this 8-seat minivan that are definitely worth mentioning. Cosmetically speaking, the grille and the front bar are a little bit different, the wheels have changed, and there are some minor tweaks to the rear end, but really you'll have to squint pretty hard to pick the difference between old and new. Mechanically, Kia has ditched the Carnival's 6-speed auto for an 8-speed version. And it's also tweaked the suspension a bit further to suit Aussie conditions. All Kias score an Aussie-centric ride and handling tune-up before they go on sale, and the Carnival was no different. But the local team reckoned they could do a little bit better again, so they've tweaked the shocks and changed the front springs. Those mechanical updates have made a little bit of difference to what was an already pretty good car. The front springs have been stiffened up to give it a bit more steering feel, while the 8-speed gearbox is actually bespoke to the Carnival. It's not the same that's used across any other Kia product. It's quiet, it works well in conjunction with either the 3.3 petrol or the 2.2 litre diesel. When it comes to touring, the Kia Carnival is actually really good. It's got excellent noise suppression, it's very quiet in here even at highway speeds. And the visibility for the driver is excellent. Kia has also updated the electronics in the Carnival too, adding larger multimedia screens across the range and adding Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for the first time. Higher grade models also get a 9-speaker JBL stereo, but even the base Model S has a really decent sound system. There's not a lot of changes to the interior of the Carnival, but the big one for me is the deletion of the foot brake, finally. There's now an electronic park brake in its place. There's an updated satellite navigation system, and speaking of electronics, the Carnival range has received a pretty big birthday when it comes to driver aids. AEB is now standard across all Carnivals, including the base spec S, along with adaptive cruise control and lane departure warning. As well, the new sat-nav system has speed sign recognition and audible camera warnings built in. And the top spec Platinum also gets rear cross traffic alert and blind spot assistance. It's easy to dismiss the idea of a people mover being little more than a family taxi, and that its size means it is a compromise for everyday use. The Carnival is pretty big, it's about 200 mils longer than a Toyota Prado for example, but it's got terrific visibility and it's a cinch to drive around town. The Carnival is built for 8, with 3 seats in the third row and another 3 in the second row. And there are vents in the roof for all 3 rows. You might think all those seats would cruel the Carnival cargo space, but that's not the case at all, with a decently sized boot even with the third row in place. Even though this car is billed as an 8-seater, it works perfectly well with 5. In fact, if you're looking for something with a bit more space and you're not convinced that you need an SUV, then maybe a trip to the Carnival is just the ticket.